couple of 29-28 scorelines in his quarter-final, but he was good in the semis. It's a big ask for him, I think, tonight, but he's a kind of coming force at the age of 18.
So Kazakhstan in the red there, that's Sabit. Uzbekistan, I beg your pardon, in the red, that's Mirzakhmedov. In the blue, representing Kazakhstan, is the aforementioned Sabit. They've got some real talent in this division. At the World Youth Championships, Sanzor Tashkenbay won gold for Kazakhstan, and he was very, very impressive. Sabit ahead of him even, by virtue of having won those men's seniors in what is obviously an extremely competitive environment. Southpaw Mirzakhmedov. And Sabit, an orthodox fighter, and he started aggressively here, the youngster. Nice little left hand on the inside. Left hand comes back there from Mirzakhmedov, and the early signs are that this is going to be a very entertaining fight. Left hand to the body there from Mirzakhmedov, but Sabit is trying to set a real pace here, set a tempo early on. I did think when they made the announcements that he possibly looked a little bit tense, Alex, but it would not appear to be the case.
And he's throwing 3 or 4 punches to every one that's coming back from Mirzakhmedov, who, of course, took care of the #1 seed in his half of the draw in the semi-finals as well. So they both come into this in really good form. You say, as the reigning champion, with the experience, Mirzakhmedov favourite coming into this one, but you've got to love the way Sabit's gone about it so far. Is he going to be there to be hit as the pace slows? We'll see about that, but he's letting his hands go, and he's managing to close the gap fairly easily through the first minute and a half.
Left hand to the body there from Mirzakhmedov. Sabit up close, tries to work the body. Lead right hand comes back from Mirzakhmedov, who's just been forced to use the outer edge of the ring here, manages to turn Sabit quite effectively over towards the ropes. Referee having a quick word, not entirely sure what that was about. The right hand there just short from Sabit. He pokes out with that lead left, cramps himself for room a little bit. That's a lovely left hand counter there from Mirzakhmedov, and that's exactly what he needs to do. As my colleague was just mentioning, if he can pick him off on the way in, Mirzakhmedov, then that's the way for him really to win this fight into the final minute of round 1. And this is a pretty torrid opening round, isn't it? This will take plenty out of the tank for both of them.
That was a huge body shot, right hand to the body from Sabit, and you just saw a little sag there from Mirzakhmedov, who I thought, Andy, through the second half of this round just started to find his rhythm a little bit more. He's buying himself some space. It does look like Sabit's there to be hit on the way in, and the left hand is starting to find its target from Mirzakhmedov, but there's a huge right hand to the body there from this little 18-year-old. He's making it uncomfortable. Just feel that Mirzakhmedov is starting to get his measure with the left hand particularly, but I'm intrigued to see how this one's going to develop.
Left hand to the body there from Mirzakhmedov, and the end of the first round, and that was a fascinating round really. In this 3-round format, winning that first round can be absolutely crucial, and given his front foot pressure, you would say that Sabit has probably taken it, but as you mentioned, Mirzakhmedov just figuring things out as the round went along, and that's absolutely critical for him. If he has dropped that first round, that he can start the second with more of a plan of what works and what doesn't.
I think that's a round, Andy, that will divide opinion, because exactly like you, the front foot pressure that was impressive through the first minute or so from Sabit. He did land that heavy right hand as well, but I thought as the round progressed, the cleaner work, that the sharper eye-catching work was coming from Mirzakhmedov. So that is, I think that's a difficult round to score. I'm kind of drawn to the cleaner eye-catching work of the Uzbek boxer, but I'll be honest, I wouldn't disagree with anyone who saw it the other way.
So into the second round, and that was a great opening 3 minutes to get men's finals day underway. As I said, there's just such a host of top names in action here. Some fantastic pairings, 6 defending champions. As I said earlier on, Uzbekistan, if they're to catch Kazakhstan at the top of that combined medals table, need to have an unbelievable day. They did that back in 2017 when they won 9 out of 10 golds in the men's section. At that point, the male and female competitions were separate. They combined in 2019, and Mirzakhmedov just looking to try and land that left hand. That left hand over the top there has worked for him a couple of times. Just dips his shoulder away to the right-hand side and brings it in from quite wide. Nice quick hands there from Mirzakhmedov again. Straight left hand. Good accurate shot, right hand to the body there from Sabit, and the left to the body from Mirzakhmedov, and Sabit's making him work just as hard in the second round as he did in the first.
Tell you what, Andy, if this little fella, I mean, he's only 18, so there's a long, long way to go in his career, but if he can just get a little bit more method behind the madness, he'd be a right handful. He's got a terrific work rate. He can, if he can just earn his way inside a little more tactically and technically, then it could be really interesting. He's been picked off from time to time, but he really is making Mirzakhmedov, he's making him work every single second of this contest.
Well, you can see how he's made the transition from youth boxing up to senior boxing by winning that senior title, and you can see why the coaches and the system in Kazakhstan have been happy to bump him up quickly, because at youth level he would overwhelm opponents. Right hand on the inside there from Mirzakhmedov was a decent shot, just took his feet out, gave himself a little bit more room to use those longer levers, and just caught Sabit on the way in. I think there might be something that needs attending to here, just a little bit of a nick in the up high in the hairline there for Mirzakhmedov. The doctor will check that out. It's no great problem. There's a slight nick just on the corner of the eyebrow there as well on the inside, but nothing major. Haven't seen too many cuts actually, or head clashes over the course of the last week, which is always a bit of a relief. Sabit again just marauding forward there into the closing stages of round 2.
Freakishly strong, isn't he, for an 18-year-old? I think he landed another right-hander. He's landed 2 right hands, Sabit, in this round. One of them when they were up close, and I think on both occasions, I think Mirzakhmedov he's felt the weight of those. There might just be a little bit of a swelling and potential of a cut now on the left eye of Sabit.
Nothing too bad in a decent position as well. Any blood will run clear of the eye. That was a nice 1-2 there from Mirzakhmedov, and Sabit took it well, but final few seconds of round 2, the cleaner punching, you would say, in this round has certainly come from Mirzakhmedov. But Sabit again there with that muscular approach, and he just gives Mirzakhmedov a glare as the bell goes at the end of the round. And this has been a good fight to get things underway, really has.
I think they need a toweling down. They certainly need the minute in between rounds here. It's been fought at a ferocious pace, all of it because of that little man, Daniyal Sabit, Kazakh boxer at the age of 18. And I think the end of that round, the last 30 seconds, Mirzakhmedov chose to stand his ground, perhaps maybe just fearing that the judges potentially could view him as being outworked. He picked some of the cleaner shots. There wasn't so much of an eye-catching nature behind quite a few of those in that round as that maybe had been in the previous round. So again, difficult to score. Cleaner work coming from Mirzakhmedov, lots of effort, and a couple of big right hands have been landed by Sabit in both rounds so far.
So into the third and final round, Nodirjon Mirzakhmedov, the defending champion, 27 years old, from Tashkent in Uzbekistan. He is in the red, boxing out of that southpaw stance. Orthodox in the blue, boxing for Kazakhstan, the 18-year-old Daniyal Sabit, who has brought it every second so far, right from the first bell. Just throws that right hand and moves off to the right-hand side there, Mirzakhmedov. Just working his way in with the jab there, Sabit then launched the right hand to the body. Mirzakhmedov just skirting off to his left, trying to slide along those ropes.
And you can really see, you hear people saying it a lot, Andy, but you can really notice when we get the wider, when fans at home will see the wider shot, when he does get his left foot, Sabit, on the outside as he's coming forward, it really does open up the space for him to land his own right hand. He's not managed to do it all that often, but you can really tell the difference when he does manage to do it. How much of that is because of the craftiness of Mirzakhmedov is one thing. How much of it is just that Sabit hasn't learned it yet? That might be another part of it.
Just caught by left hand there, Sabit. Well, that is the textbook way, isn't it, of tackling a southpaw when you're orthodox. Get that lead foot on the outside of the southpaw's lead foot, because, as you say, it makes that right hand a little bit more straightforward to find. Just trying to move his head on the way in there, Sabit, but then just caught the left hand as he dipped away to his right. Again, just hooking on the move, using that right hand with Mirzakhmedov, and then trying to move off to his right. He's done that quite a bit in this second and third round in particular.
Nice left hand, straight left there from Mirzakhmedov, just at a time when it looked like he'd maybe been bullied around the ring a little bit. It's difficult to say or see quite how effective Sabit has been throughout this. I think it's a really difficult fight to score this. I wouldn't be shocked if the judges thought Sabit's thrown so much. He's pushed forward so well throughout the fight. How effective he's been and how many punches he's landing, those are the big questions that I would ask throughout this 3 rounds. But he couldn't have tried or done any more, and he has made Mirzakhmedov sweat every single step of the way.
100%, and that's a good point you make, because fights can look different from ringside sometimes. The judges are right up close, all 5 of them, scoring this using the 10-point must, and they have got the best view in the house. Mirzakhmedov's punches, because they're delivered generally off the back foot and from that slightly longer range, are easier to see. It might sound like a very basic kind of point to make, but these things can matter in the context of fights like that, where you've got somebody kind of burrowing in, letting their hands go, and as you say, it's not always that easy to tell exactly how much has got through. But that was a great contest to start men's finals day. Uzbekistan up against Kazakhstan rarely disappoints, and that most certainly did not. In Mirzakhmedov, we've got the defending champion, of course. In Sabit, we've got an 18-year-old who showed absolutely no nerves in the end, no fear whatsoever. Here we go.
The winner by unanimous decision in the red corner, representing Uzbekistan.
So Mirzakhmedov gets it by unanimous decision. As we've been saying throughout the course of the fight, it wasn't the easiest to score. I guess the ringside judges did interpret his punching as being the more effective, the cleaner. But Sabit brought it every second of those 9 minutes.